Prayer doesn't work. It simply just does not work. This is one of the things among many that I received from the video where I talked about the fact that prayer doesn't work, and that if a person, according to James, if a person is sick, then they are to go to the elders, and the elders are to pray over them, and then that person would be healed. But of course, we see that that is not something that happens in our world today, and neither did it happen in any other time frame of history. But a person like my man here is saying that, well, you have to understand the definition of James 5:14 in order for you to understand it, because it wasn't just talking about people who were physically ill, but also talking about people who were spiritually, who needed spiritual healing. Most of the time, this argument comes about amongst Christian scholars because the popular doctrine of the day is that it is speaking of people who were spiritually needing healing. And they would try to refer to Paul when Paul talked about his own illness or having a thorn in his flesh and being tormented by the devil. But in any case, Paul never identified exactly what his illness was. Was it a spiritual illness or was it a physical illness? But in other parts of the Bible, in Acts and Philippians, Paul is most certainly talking about physical illness, and that you are to pray over it. And people were wiping their towels on Paul to try to utilize that in order to heal people. So the word that is used in Koine Greek in James is I'm messing it up. Anatheneo, something like that. I don't speak Koine Greek. But that word in any and every other account in Koine Greek only bears the meaning of a person who is physically ill beyond something of a common illness, something that is a more devastating illness, and that person is supposed to go to the elders and pray, have the elders pray over them, and they will be healed. Now, the other opposition that many people on that video had, it was to say that not everyone is given the gift of healing, that some people are for healing and some people have other spiritual gifts. And they quote Romans, where it talks about the different spiritual gifts that a person may have. It also says in Romans that the one gift that you should desire to have the most, although you shouldn't desire to have any gifts, is the gift of healing. But yet we do not see those certain people who have that gift of healing in the hospitals healing people. We do not see them as elders going to their parishioners and healing people. Sure, they may pray over a person, but is there a true healing? And since it was talking about very severe illnesses, where were they when the people who were Christian were dying of COVID, dying of AIDS, dying of cancer, dying of any of these more serious diseases? Not the fact that they had a headache, not the fact that they had a tummy ache. Where are the amputees that are being regenerated because these people have the power of healing? If there are some people, and if I granted you that some people had this power, we have not, nor have we ever seen a demonstration of this power that can be vetted so that it can be proven. But in almost every case, it is just wishful thinking. And other people utilize the same thing that I said in the video, where they proclaim that if a person does not have enough faith, then that person cannot be healed. So in order for a person to receive this miracle healing, they have to already believe in the power of your God, which means that that person could just as easily be explained as living and having the placebo effect. So at the end of the day, there are no Christian healers, and there is no power in the name of this Jesus in order to heal people. It just simply doesn't exist. If it does, please prove it. Because other people told me their stories on that very same video about how they had members of their family or people that they knew who went into the hospitals with severe issues. Elders came and prayed, and that person still died. Which brings me to the last point. There were people who were saying that it wasn't meant for those people to be healed, that God wanted those people with them, that God needed those people with them right now, and that is why that person was not healed, because it was God's will. That is the major and most horrendous cop-out, because according to your Bible, they are to go to these elders and they will be healed. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.